I put a Monaco track map in there for you, just in case. I'm sure you don't need it memorized all.
Well, sometimes the corner numbers, you need reminders, but I know which way it goes.
We are back in Charlotte on Tuesday, May 5th. It has been 2 days since the Miami Grand Prix. Right now, Valtteri Bottas is downstairs in the dill, and this is what happens after a race. This video is about arguably the most important thing for a new Formula One team, correlation. There are two cars that exist. There's a virtual car, there's a physical car. There are only two people in this world who can act as bridges between that virtual car and that physical car, Checo and Valtteri Bottas. It is so important for drivers to trust the data and the feeling that they're getting from the virtual simulator car. So it better be right.
Today we're going to start on correlation work from Miami.
And then jump into preparation for the next 3 races or so.
Montreal, Barcelona, Monaco. So the updates that we brought to Miami, on the whole, I think we're confident that they did work.
A lot of it is just bulk downforce. Downforce makes the car faster. The drivers want more rear downforce for balance. The pressure sensors we have on the car, lower pressure is better on the bottom of the car, and we see that, so that's a really reassuring sign.
Both drivers got to feel the upgrade. Both of them were positive. They could feel more grip and high speed. But then you look at the lap times and say, well, we've got a big chunk of lap time to find. Now we've got to figure out how are we going to find it.
It starts off actually even before Valtteri gets here. Aiden was driving the simulator at like 6 in the morning to make sure that the simulator itself is operating so that when Valtteri comes in, they don't have to spend time troubleshooting mechanical or operational problems.
We are limited in time with the drivers. They can't be here every day between the races. They've got their own things that they need to do as well. And we got to really be efficient in their use of time.
How many fruit snacks are you on today? I've had probably like 5 already, so it'll be a fun day.
Dropping the light.
Yeah. Are you trying to like remember how the car feels right now, like before you get in?
Yeah, exactly. So correlation is quite useful to do it as soon as after the race, because then it's still fresh in the mind, like how the car was feeling, what were the main issues, and then we're really trying to replicate it here so we can make the simulator closer to the reality.
Read your article, by the way. I liked it. Sisu.
Have you seen the movie Sisu?
No, there's a
You
movie?
should. Yeah, it's fun. Have you seen it? No, I haven't. Finnish guy, bunch of gold in Lapland. And then basically the German Nazis, they're coming through and burning villages and trying to steal his gold. Oh. But they're not going to steal his gold. I love it. Yeah. That does sound like good. All right. How you doing? Yeah, good. How are you?
Morning, good to see you.
We'll get your comments on initial correlation, how everything feels. And then the tire group has 2 or 3 runs they want to get through with some different model options for the tire model and let you feel how the evolution is when we let the temperatures build. Valtteri in particular felt like he struggled with tire overheating in general. So he had to limit the amount he could push in the high-speed section because as they got too hot, it just really started to take away the grip that he had available for the rest of the lap.
This is the hottest track that we've been to so far this year, and it's the first time we've taken the 2026 tire. As the tire heats up, you're going to see more chance or propensity for potentially blistering. When the tire wears or overheats, you may hear a lot of the coaching for lift coast so that we can try to keep heat out of those tires or minimize the sliding behavior on the tires. So it is quite the game, and again, it's the first time since we've been to such a hot track.
Summer is coming up, so yeah.
So how do you solve that?
That's the $1 million question.
The driver is very good at telling you what happens, but he can't always tell you why. If the driver says he doesn't have enough rear grip, you can add it back by increasing the rear tire grip or increasing the rear downforce or changing the suspension. Which one of those 3 is right is up to the engineers and their model.
The baseline correlation was okay. The track was actually a bit bumpier in the dill than it was in reality.
Things like the track roughness. Tracks usually get resurfaced, and that's really important for us to update.
The teams aren't scanning the tracks themselves, are they?
Some of them do. In the pipeline of setting up a new race team, it's further down.
Sometimes you'll see teams on a track walk. There's like it almost looks like one of those measuring sticks with a wheel, but it's like a little box, and they're actually scanning the track on their track walk for like surface updates to help with correlation.
They've got a certain amount of budget, and they've got a million different things they've got to get through, having the most updated scans just isn't number one on the call sheet right now. And it's such an illustrative example of why an established team has such an edge over the competition. Were you able to replicate the tire issue?
We definitely see it here. Like it was a bit, maybe even a bit more amplified here. Tire overheating, and when the tires overheat, then the pressure inside the tire rises as well, and then you lose mechanical grip. It's very clear that how much we lose performance when it's happening.
But at least now you can trust the potential solution if you're testing it in the sim.
Yeah, like you could example different rim cooling options. You could type the numbers here. Let's say if you can reduce 5 degrees of tire temperature, you would see the result here that you're going to go faster.
We could do 1 or 2 runs before lunch. And then we're thinking stop for tacos. It's Cinco de Mayo.
That is true.
Yeah, it's tacos.
No,
No,
I was
it's Taco
actually
Tuesday
I
and
was
Cinco de
worried I
Mayo.
wouldn't get tacos, but here we go.
He brings a cast iron taco press in his suitcase with him to all of his races. That's how much this man likes tacos.
70 shots of espresso later.
Is it number 3 or 4?
5.
5.
The first 4 didn't have any effect, but this one could be the one.
So what's the fruit snack count?
I think we're at like 15 or 16. Yeah, they're like straight plastic.
Good tacos?
Very good tacos. It's Tuesday, so.
By all accounts, they were able to correlate the car pretty close to the real car. So that's all great news for the simulator team, for the tire model team. And they're going to focus more on the circuits ahead and preparing for those tracks. The craziest thing about this sport is the drivers barely get any time actually driving Formula One cars. There are very strict regulations around how much time they actually get to spend in these cars. And so the way to actually develop their skills is to rely on virtual models.
It's a unique sport in that way, because you can't practice. We can't just take the F1 car and get on track, you know. The driver who took me here this morning, he was like, "Are you practicing around here?" No, we can't. But it's same for everyone. So if there's a long gap, it's good to drive something, but nothing still really represents the F1 speeds and the G-forces. So
If the simulator correlation is good, it gives the race drivers confidence that when the development drivers here say, hey, this option was good for high-speed performance, for balance, that they can trust it.
They were talking about how close Checo was to getting in to Q2. The commentators even mentioned, like, hey, the amount of trust they have in their simulation team.
That's you.
Yeah, right. Like 5 months in, and you can see the impact already.
That's something that's really important when you build a new team and people are working together. That if you build that trust, years from now, 2 years from now, we'll look back on that and think, okay, that's actually where the team got its foundation.
Engineering-wise, we do trust the simulator, but the drivers themselves, they're driving it. They know what they can believe in and what still needs work. So if we think the ride correlation isn't great, we're all gonna talk about that.
The track is the ground truth. So that's where things are proven, yes, they work, or no, they don't. And the team has to have a lot of trust to accept if something didn't work, and then go back and look at the tools and change them.
The car is just a bit more forgiving. I need to wait less to get on power. It feels like the car is settling a bit faster after the curbs, and I could lean on the car at the apex more without any unexpected snaps. So just everything felt more consistent.
Any questions from anybody else? All right, if not, that's it. So thanks everybody for your help today.
Thanks everyone. I'm still flying Tuesday night from LA.
Okay.
And I land Thursday morning.
It's just
Wednesdays.
gone. It's just a simulation anyways. Once that plane door closes and opens again.
Excellent.
What's really good from a technical point of view is we can design a great aero upgrade and bring it to the track. We're closing in on the field. So more of the same is really what we need.
Close to getting into Q2 in race 4 as a brand new team, that's quite exciting. Helps all of us feel confident that, okay, next time we bring it, it's also gonna work. The guys who are racing the car, it's Valtteri and Sergio, you're not gonna get any better correlation than when these two guys hop in it. So that's why today we focused more on correlation really than race prep, because we just need to get these models right, because that's gonna pay dividends in the long run for all of us.